Hello everybody and welcome to Notorious Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm Notorious Cly and this is a new style of video I'm trying out. The title or theme of the video is going to be Mail Day. I got some cards in the mail. I really wanted to do this because I enjoy pack opening videos. I think they're kind of neat, kind of cool, but I don't want to buy a whole bunch of product just to open packs in hopes that I make my money back. So the cards that I'm ordering, I figured we could open them together. I had somebody else put all the cards in here and remove all of my sensitive information from there so I don't accidentally dox myself. So I haven't seen what showed up today. So let's go through it together and maybe have a good discussion about Yu-Gi-Oh! Along the way. I think that's the real goal of this format, is to give me an excuse to go ahead and just talk candidly about Yu-Gi-Oh! I think that's the goal of this type of video, is to allow me to just kind of get the random thoughts about Yu-Gi-Oh! I have in my head out and not have to try and make it such like a formal discussion video. The discussion can be background or it can be the primary focus, and then the cards I'm opening and finding out that I got today can also be background to the conversation or the primary focus, depending on how cool they are. So first up, we got a pretty hefty pack in a MTG sleeve. Thank you, appreciate the MTG sleeve. Always works nice as a token for locals or whatever. So let's see what's in here. We got Print Kids Water Washer, Print Kids Bow Wow. Yeah, look at these. Print Kids Battle Butler, the secret rares. Look at how nice those look. I should probably hold them up to the camera. Look at those. Look at how nice that is. Nice and shiny. Looks gorgeous in person. So yeah, I ordered a Print Kids core. They're not good. Not right now. Not with Meow Mew being banned. But I've always loved print kits. I love the art style. I think it's colorful, it's fun, it's whimsical, it's cool in its own unique way. Really cool art style. And I love print kits. I love the play style. It's a shame that they got a Link one that made them busted, and they were a small enough, compact enough, and consistent enough engine that they were folded into a big F-off pile deck that was able to abuse a lot of the generically overpowered cards that are now banned. But yeah, still love print kits. Sorry, looking at Battle Boxer. I think one of the thoughts that I've had floating around in my head that print kits are a good jumping off point for is I really wish Konami would be a little better with the ban list. I think stuff like Master Duel has proven to us that you can have powerful cards from previous formats in rotation, and it doesn't really change anything. You look at right now in Master Duel, we're currently in the Tier 0 format. And before that, we were in like Sprite Mathmech branded format, basically a Shuzu format. And we had Sprite format, we had Runic format, we had all kinds of stuff. And Print Kids Meow Mew was at 1. It wasn't banned. And it didn't really change anything. It turns out when your design philosophy is to allow everything to be playable at once, and in order to encourage people to buy the next set, you have to make the next set more powerful, or do something better or more innovative than the cards before them. You don't really need to put a lot of powerful stuff from previous formats on ban lists. At least that's what I think Master Duel has kind of shown me. Because Meow Mew is there. I know Adventure Prank isn't at full power because the Adventure Engine is hit, but Prank Kits is still playable. And that's something I wish Konami would maybe do in the TCG a little more, is allow powerful archetypes from previous formats to remain playable. I don't know if it'd be the best thing to bring back Meow Mew, but I think it would definitely go a long way to make prank kits playable. It would make them strong, but I don't know if they'd be stronger than stuff like Sprite, Kashtira, the upcoming Super Heavy Samurai, which is kind of the same philosophy as prank kits, which is like one card, big F-off combo using a lot of generic utility tools. Same thing with Manadome, whatever it was translated to. Yeah, we're about to enter an era where we're going big one card F-off combos. Why can't print kits be a part of that? I don't think print kits would be better than the upcoming stuff. Even if it is, I mean, you can always find other ways to limit or restrict the power of powerful decks from previous formats without making them unplayable. You could even do something like make a Meow Moo retrain almost immediately after you decide it's too powerful to be playable, and make the Meow Moo retrain restricted enough that it lowers the power level of the deck, but still allows the deck to be playable. So I wish Konami would be a little more, I guess, innovative with the ban list. So that's something I'm really hoping that they do. So one of the reasons why I bought a print kit core is because, like I said, I like the art, I like the play style. I like the playstyle print kits before Adventure Prinks. I think it was a really cool, like mid-rangey kind of control deck that did a lot of cool things. And really hoping one day that Meow Moo is unbanned because of all the things I just mentioned. We've seen it in Master Duel not be up to par with some of the other new powerful archetypes and cards that have been released over the few years. So maybe I'm just hoping that Meow Moo gets unbanned with this next ban list. And if it does, I'll have my print kits core ready to go. Or I'm hoping that, they realize print kits is really cool, really fun, and they just give it a new card, some new support that helps make it playable without being broken. And here we have our last card. Some of you might hate me for this, but I picked up Barrier Statue of the Abyss. It turns out in the new Resonator builds, this is searchable. I don't know if it's the best search target for Bone Archfiend in the new builds, but it is a possibility. And as much as I don't like pulling Floodgate shenanigans, if it means it could potentially help my favorite archetype become competitively viable, I'm going to do it. I'm going to at least have the option available to me. So we got a Barrier Statue of the Abyss. Little cringe, but it's it is what it is. Next up, let's see what we got. We got 4 copies of Tuning Gum. I don't know why I got 4. I think I might have double added it to my cart from multiple sellers. But Tuning Gum, yeah, another interesting. Now that I'm thinking about it, Bone Archfiend is the one that Foolish Burials. So this is the Bone Archfiend target, and then this is the Soul Resonator target. So there we go. I got it right, everybody. Don't worry. I'll have it figured out by the time the cards are officially available to play. So yeah, I got some stuff for the upcoming Resonator Red Dragon Archfiend support. Really excited to see how good my favorite deck can become, and started picking stuff up now while it's relatively unexplored and cheap, and maybe it pays off. Maybe it saves me a few bucks in the end. Here we have the other 2 barrier statues. I don't think you would ever need to play 3. The idea behind the barrier statues, it would be searchable, and if you haven't used your normal summon yet, you can normal summon it. Again, probably not going to be good, probably not going to be playable, but I think it's at least an interesting side deck card, maybe. Depending on the format and the matchup, Barrier Statue of Abyss might be good enough to win, good enough to help you out. And then we got Print Kids Pranks, another Print Kids card. I got all the high rarity stuff too. The price difference between the low rarity and high rarity stuff right now is negligible because, again, Print Kids is unplayable. So I ended up picking up the high rarity stuff just to treat myself. And maybe if someone ever wants to play like Unlimited with me, just for friendlies, I have a playable full power Print Kids deck, minus the Adventure Engine. Waiting for that to get reprinted. That's way too much to be spending on like 5 cards. I know it's more than 5, but you get the idea. And then last, we got 4 copies of Print Kids Meow Mew. If it ever comes back, it's probably only going to be at 1, but a little investment never hurts. Never hurts. Plus, like I said, if anybody ever wants to play Unlimited with me, but I go like, yo, don't worry, I'm just playing regular Print Kids. I'm not playing the Adventure pile. Maybe they'll let me play, 3 Meow Mew. So, let's see what else we got. Let's see what's next. Ooh, this is a bad look for me. This is gonna be a bad showcase of what I'm kind of getting for the upcoming Resonator stuff. As I throw the card across, Buster Dragon. Buster Dragon, interesting floodgate option. Dark Dragon Synchro, level 8, everything Resonator stuff. Turns all your opponent's monsters to dragon. You're playing, again, matchup dependent, probably going to be a side deck card. Maybe just an extra deck card flex slot that you put in that you don't mind prosperitying off, depending on the matchup. And if you end up going against something like Math Mech, where a lot of their link targets requires specifically Cypress, might be an auto win. So yeah, not cool that I've gotten 2 floodgates for the upcoming Resonator support, but that's just the state of modern TCG, I guess. This is another good jumping off point. That's just where TCG is at. You don't want to interact with your opponent. More specifically, you don't want your opponent to interact with you. If you can find a way to stop your opponent from playing, then you have done a fantastic job in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! It's sad that that's kind of where the game has developed and gone, or where the game has always been, because I guess stuff like Imperial Order, level limit, area B. Floodgates have been around since the beginning. Ordeal of the Traveler, stall tools, floodgates have been around since the beginning. Sad to see that the speed of the game has made the floodgates more impactful and more deadly, because if you can stop your opponent from playing from one turn, if you can stop them from playing for one turn, it means you win because you just kill them on the follow-up. Not the kind of game or card design that I like, but I still think Yu-Gi-Oh! Is good enough and well enough designed that I'm willing to look past that stuff and keep playing what I think is the best card game currently out there. At least the best card game for me. All right, and this is a hefty one. Hefty one. So we got more Brink Kid stuff. We got... They did a nice job. Double sleeved it. Put it in the hard protector. Triple sleeved it. They had it sleeved in the oversleeve and in the hard protector. Fantastic job. Way to go to that seller. I'll have to figure out who did it. Brink Kids Brinks. Sorry, Place. Nice and shiny. Secret rare. Told you I went for the high rarity stuff. Super cheap right now. Might be a little bit of, I guess, gambling, hoping that Brink Kids is once again playable one day, or by the time it becomes playable, it's actually like mildly competitive. But yeah, you know, love it. And then Ripper and Rooster. Not really the greatest thing to be summoning in Brink Kids, just because by the time you're ready to make a Link 4, there's more impactful things you can be doing, and it's back row removal. So by the time you've gotten enough material on board to make a Link 4, your opponent has already used the back row. But I love that art. Fantastic. It's kind of the embodiment of what I love about the Brink Kids art. Colorful, whimsical, but also cool somehow. Love it. And then I think we have our Brink Kids themselves in this big one. I can see Lampsies in there. Lampsies. Yeah. Shout outs to Progression Playoff from MBT. I loved one of the bits when Brink Kids were being played in Progression Playoffs, where they asked everybody to kin assign themselves a Brink Kid. I still don't know which one I would be, but maybe we'll figure that out as we're looking at all the Brink Kids. Shout out down in the comments. Let me know which Brink Kid you think you are. Specifically, Lampsies, Dropsies, Roxies, or Fansies, and then which one of the three featured on their card art that you are. So yeah, we got the high rarity stuff. We got Lampsies 3, the Ultra. Didn't really want to shell out too much for the main deck stuff, I guess. I guess if I did the investment thing with Meow Mew, I probably should have done it with everything else. Just to, you know, give myself the most potential upside, but, you know, whatever. I don't really look at cards as too much of investment. Maybe when it's like dirt cheap like Meow Mew, and there's always the chance that it does come off because Konami looks at Master Duel and notices all the same things that I did, that like Adventure Prank is slightly hit but still not the most powerful deck or amongst the most powerful decks because Powercreep exists. You know, maybe they'd look and see that and unban Meow Mew and everything's great. So when I buy cards, I like to get playset everything, just because you never know what new support, new incidental support's going to come out that might make previously overshadowed or overthought about cards playable. So I got 3 of the Rocket Ride. I love this artwork. Love the artwork. I think I'm viewing the Brink Kid stuff as much as like a pure cope and hope and wish for future playability, and kind of like a collection thing, just because I think Brink Kids have some of my favorite artwork in all of modern Yu-Gi-Oh cards. They're cool, but they're cool without like trying to take themselves too seriously, I suppose. 2 more Weather Washer. Completes the playset of Weather Washer. Another Battle Butler. Love Battle Butler. Battle Butler is like chaos of colors and like hilarity. The more you look at it, the more you notice and the funnier it gets. Then we have 3 copies of Fansies. What up, Fansies? Still don't know which Brink Kid I would be. Maybe that's even more fun. Instead of telling me what Brink Kid you think you are, tell me what Brink Kid you think I am. Because I'm probably going to inaccurately assign myself a Brink Kid to be the cool one, or the one I think is the coolest, instead of the one that I really am. Maybe that tells you a little bit about the Brink Kid that I am. And then Brink Kid's plan. Probably not playable even in, you know, full power Brink Kids, but if I'm going to order stuff, I might as well just get the whole archetype. Let's move on to the next one. Yep, here we go. Rest of the prank kids plans, might as well just have it, especially if they're like, I think, pennies each. Pennies each. I get them essentially for free because I'm already paying the seller for shipping, and then already paying the seller for shipping. So the difference between, I guess paying the amount I'm paying for the cards I actually want and pennies for cards they already have is negligible. And then last up, I think this is the last one. This is the last one. Last one, Santa Claus. Merry Christmas, everybody. I got myself a Santa Claus for a couple of reasons. One, it's fantastic. Two, it's a good small world bridge in the upcoming Resonator support, just because it's a light fiend with stats that don't line up with any of your other important fiends. So it can be used as a fiend to get to Crimson. It can be used as a light fiend with different stats to get to Wildwind. Just being a fiend with atypical statting and attributing to the rest of the deck really makes it a great, fantastic, amazing small world bridge. Also, a fantastic small world bridge in Mathmech, which is probably the deck I'm going to be playing in the upcoming SIAC format. Been playing a lot of Mathmech online. Always had a lot of love for Mathmech, specifically Mathmech Circular, just because it really helped out my Adignister deck. Putting the Mathmech package in there, so crazy. It had so much upside, so much extension, and consistency to the deck, because Mathmech Circular is a one-card rival Cyberset Adignister. So it's crazy now that deck has Picari, Achichi, Mathmech Circular, I Meet You as one-card arrivals, and then also has Signet Mining as a 1.5 card arrival Cyberset Adignister. So crazy consistency on that deck. Still not the greatest deck in the world, and still not the greatest when there's kaijus in the format. But love Adignister. Love Adignister. If anybody's newer to the TCG out there or is looking for a deck to play to introduce themselves to the TCG, modern TCG, I would recommend Adignister. It's a combo-ish deck that's linear enough that it's pretty easy to learn and pick up on, and get you comfortable with learning a big combo, which a lot of modern Yu-Gi-Oh can be. Even like mid-range decks still combo. Most mid-range decks still play in Nibiru nowadays. That's just the way the game has gotten faster, more intense, more I don't know what I was gonna say, but that's just the way it's gone. So you learn a big combo, helps you memorize a combo line. Combo line is linear enough that it's easy to pick up, but has enough variation in starting points that really helps you think about trying to find ways and routes to your desired end board without being too complicated, of course. And then highly consistent. Just mentioned that Achichi, Picari, I Meet You, and Mathmech Circular, all one-card arrival Cyberset Agnisters, plus Signet Mining exists, which is a 1.5 card because it can search you the Achichi, the Picari, or the Mathematic Circular. So crazy consistency. Has a ton of flexibility for utility cards, so you can play a bunch of hand traps. One thing I highly recommend for new players is play a bunch of hand traps. Having the ability to interact with your opponent, having the ability to hand trap your opponent very often is going to force you to learn what everybody else is doing, so you're using your hand traps effectively. And that's one of the most important things for adjusting to the new TCG is one, you got to learn your deck, and then two, you have to learn how to play your deck against everything else that's being played. So hand traps force you to do that, because otherwise you're just throwing cards away and you're going to end up losing because you impermed in the wrong spot, used Ghost Ogre in the wrong spot. Plus there's a lot of decent hand traps that are relatively inexpensive, and Adignister by itself is relatively inexpensive too. The most expensive part about Adignister is probably the Signet Minings and the access code talker you got to put in your extra deck. But even then, you can always forgo the access code talker and just make it Towers Turbo even on turn 2. And just if you're able to use some of your utility cards to remove your opponent's interaction or stall them out from playing by using your hand traps effectively, getting to a rival Cyberset Adignister on turn 2 poses a very big problem for them, because you've worn through the inner interaction and you've put a big, hard to deal with monster on the board. That's another thing I love about Ignister specifically is the arrival of Cyberset Ignister is so good for new players because it gives you a lot of comfort. You don't really have to worry about trying to go through this big elongated combo to get through a bunch of interaction points. You're just putting a big dude on the board, challenging your opponent to have an answer for it, and then using what little you have left over in your hand, and then Danmari in the graveyard to make sure your opponent can't answer your board. So really love that about at Ignister. Hopefully all of you enjoyed my at Ignister pitch. And then if you're playing MathMech at Ignister, learning how to use the core MathMech engine, circular, sigma, and addition, subtraction, plus Alimbertion, and what's the other one? Ignition, the revival spell. I forget, its name escapes me right now. But learning how to use those is also a good branching off point to learn how to play MathMech, which is a significantly better deck than at Ignister, just because it can play through more and it can do more with its board, offer more points of interaction than just a big guy and maybe a negate and a hand trap. So yeah, I'm gonna plan on playing MathMech next format, just because I fell in love with MathMech cards through at Ignister and started playing around with MathMech last format, and unfortunately wasn't able to go to locals a whole bunch just because that's the way that life goes. But should be pretty free for this upcoming Syac format, so really excited to do that. And Santa Claus is a nice small world bridge for that, and going to be very good next format for Purely. So yeah, exciting times, good stuff. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Thanks for coming to Mail Day. Hopefully you guys liked the premise of this type of video. Hopefully it was cool for you, and let me know what you're planning on playing in the upcoming TCG format, and let me know what showed up for you on your Mail Day. I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching again. Appreciate you all. Be safe, have fun, everybody.